Okay. So, anybody want to say anything? Class? Okay. Anthony, take it away.
I really liked your play.
Pia's Wondrous Adventures really grew out of the time of our pandemic. One of the things I wanted to celebrate and to honor were my mother, who was a mother of 4 children, a widow at 29, and, you know, a woman who worked as a farm worker and in a cannery, and, you know, changed our lives in such profound and deep ways. This was my mother when she was 8 years old.
Wow. I like your beautiful dress. It looks like Mrs. Zimmer's dress.
So this was probably back in the late 30s. And she was doing a parade on the border between the United States and Mexico celebrating September 16th. And so she got to carry the American flag. And so this is a picture of her. And I started thinking about my mom as a hero, but a girl hero. And so that was one of the inspirations for Pia, my character Pia.
Oh, so that's how you created Pia.
Mm-hmm. She's like, that's one inspiration, yeah. But I wanted my mom to be a hero. For me, my mom, you know, is heroic because, you know, there's just so many challenges for this young woman. But this memory of her in this dress was really special to her. She remembers it. You know, she battles with dementia now, but she remembers that picture and she remembers that memory of being, you know, children from the border. I just wanted to share with you episode 1, which is there's 7 episodes that I've written. So it's 7 little short stories. And the first story is really about how Pia comes to be. And so Pia is a little girl of about 10 years old. And it's like today, like now with how the pandemic's going, and Pia loses her best friend, Mr. Jesse. He was an older man, and he's her godfather, her Nino, and you know he got sick from COVID, and so he lost his life, and so Pia is very sad about that, and so. While that's happening, one of the amazing things happens, this magical moment happens when this little hummingbird comes flying in who can speak to her and she can understand him. And he has come to say, I need your help. And she's a little surprised by a little bird talking to her, but ultimately she is taken to Tlaxlandia, this world, this magical world where plants and animals talk. And so she arrives in there to Tlaxlandia, and she's changed from a little girl into a little fennec fox, this little cute fox with really cool long ears. And she doesn't know how that happened, but she meets this this teenage bird named Nopalitzli. And so he's very studious. He's got glasses, and he's always got a little book, and he's always writing in his book. And together they have to go find that wizard bird, the hummingbird wizard. And so they start on this journey to find him. But the really cool thing is they have a taco food truck, a lowrider taco food truck that they get to go in. And so that's the first episode of Pia's Wondrous Adventure.
The best part about Theater for Young People is that we are modeling empathy, and we're kind of showing kids a way to be in the world and having them ask questions and kind of learn things that are different from reading a book. So it's storytelling with kind of messages about how to be in the world.
I love working with young people, and I've worked with young people before on plays, a theater for young audiences, where I've dropped into classrooms with a story and gotten feedback from children. In this case, I wanted to continue to use that process in the development of Pia, because children are the best dramaturgs, the ones who will tell you whether they like it, understand it, or not. And so I love that process. I wanted to use that process again for Pia. And that's been exciting.
I'm Mexican American, so it reminded me a lot of like my culture because we're from the state in Mexico called Guanajuato, and it reminded me a lot of the pyramids and everything in Mexico, like Teotihuacan and Chichen Itza and Mitla. So it reminded me a lot of the Aztecas and the Mesoamerican traditions. So, yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. All the things that she just talked about is sort of the world that we're exploring. You know,
that's so cool. Yeah.
yeah, we're looking at, pre-Columbian, before the conquest, that culture, and then trying to infuse our story with that culture. And so you just hit it right on the nose. Really observant. Thank you.
Tell me the student's name, Ms. Rubino. Miranda, I have a question for Miranda, just really quickly kind of following up. How do you know about all this wonderful Teotihuacan and all the pyramids? And how do you know about all that culture? Who shared that with you?
She's coming back.
Thanks. Who taught you all that? Where did you learn that? Did you learn that in school, from your family? Like, how did you acquire all that incredible information?
Well, because I'm really proud to be Mexican American. So my family has gone on a lot of trips to Mexico City and to Oaxaca and all that places that have all those pyramids. So I kind of already know a lot of background history on Mexico because of my parents, and they taught me all of that stuff.
Jose is a really extraordinary person in the Chicano Latino theater field, not only as a playwright, but as a director. You know, he ran this incredible Hispanic Playwrights Project for years at South Coast Rep, and really put this idea of other voices, specifically Latinx, Chicanx voices, you know, in the mainstream American theater, and commissioned all these playwrights, and everyone has gone through there, not only just writers, but also directors and actors, etc. His time at UCSD was before me. He's like a generation above me, and so we've had the same professor, Jorge Huerta, the maestro. He had him, and then I came after him, and now I'm back here again at UC San Diego. But I've always admired, like everyone else in the field, Jose. He is the most gentle soul, but so insightful and so soulful. His work is so powerful in terms of just like the deep humanity, and just like he's just such a moral human being, and those values of who he is as a human being and how he envisions the world, but through his lens, of the Chicanx lens, is really kind of this wonderful kind of foundation of who he is as an artist. So I've always admired him from afar. We've crossed paths more kind of tangentially over the years, but it wasn't until Murray wanted to commission him for this piece and invite me as a director, where we all three really got to know each other, and I got to know him even more.
When I started in college, I was a U.S. History Chicano Studies major, and decided to take a theater class, a performance class, thinking that, that might help me in graduate school to, in applying and interviewing for either a graduate program in law or history. And I took this performance class and completely fell in love with the magic of theater. It connected my childhood experiences with my of seeing theater, but also just the creativity of drawing, and it just was perfect for me. The other element that I found a gift was taking classes with Dr. Jorge Huerta, who was a professor at the University of California, San Diego. He was the first Chicano to get a PhD in theater, and he set a lot of us on fire. This is the 1970s, and Dr. Huerta turned us on to a few professional theater companies, Chicano theater companies, like El Teatro Campesino, the Farm Workers Theater, and El Teatro de la Esperanza, the Theater of Hope. And both these companies I would have the opportunity to see as a college student, and they completely blew my mind, because it was the first time that I got to see my own community reflected on a stage, telling stories that I could relate to. And so I just found that to be what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
we were super lucky that Robert is a professor at UC San Diego and has the Chicanx Teatro Ensemble, and that that the university wanted him to do a project with the MFA design students. So that was just such a gift, because he immediately, called us and said, could this project be a project? The thing that we've been working on for almost a year, can it be a project? And we were like, yes, of course, how cool. So the idea for the experiment with the MFA students was to see if the form of this musical theater graphic novel mashup would work, and then exploring what that might look like, and getting these design students to really use their imaginations and figuring out what that might do.
One of the things for us and working with these MFA students is, we wanted to sort of blow the traditional forms of collaboration out of the water by, and I'll give you an example. So designers will get a script, and then they'll talk to the director, and then they'll come up with some renderings, and out of that they'll evolve a design. Well, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to say, here's some prompts. You're not going to read the play yet, and just come up with it. And we wanted to mash up even their collaborative process.
I want to say the Rasquachi aesthetic is the foundation of Chicano theater, and so for myself and for Jose, it's a foundational kind of aesthetic. So it's always present somehow or somewhere, and we actually really embraced it with Pia even more so. It's something that's like kind of all up, right? It's kind of on its last leg, right? It's kind of like seeing like a car held together with gaffer's tape, or spray painted, for primer, or maybe you have like a clicker for your TV and it's falling apart, but you have like Scotch tape and it's all like the buttons don't even fall, but it still works, right? It has a value, but yet it's an aesthetic. For me, it actually holds hands very deeply with the 20th century art movement, arte povere, and I'm thinking of specifically Mario Merz and from Italy, in terms of recycling and using what is already there in the room, so to speak. So it held hands beautifully, the Rasquachi aesthetic, with Pia, because Pia has a lot to do. One of the major themes is environmental justice and climate issues, and so and recycling, and so this idea of Rasquachismo really was like easy fit in a sense with the piece's theme and where we're at in terms of global justice. So the Rasquachi aesthetic was really important for them, and they took to it really easily. Like, our very first class we had, with Joanna Smith, the puppeteer, she gave us a boot camp on puppetry. And the first thing she said was, bring 3 things, we're gonna make puppets. Bring a roll of toilet paper, a blank roll, empty roll of toilet paper, a rubber band, and like a handkerchief. So it was like already finding like worn out things, detritus, and actually magicalizing them and giving them value, imbuing them in value, and giving them a sense of, in this case, art making.
Here's little Pia. She comes in and then flips over with the world spinning behind her. And then I have this 3-dimensional thing here, which is got a lot of craziness. I kind of went a little overboard on it, I would say, but let's see.
Actually, can I ask Roberto, can you pin him so that we all see him in the middle?
Yes, of course.
Here's the new little Pia and Nepalizzi. And they can have a conversation. Here's her not liking it, judging, and then this is her thinking about the conversation. The taco truck is down here.
And then the other experiment was to have the designers be a collective of artists. So deliberately not asking them to be in their lane. So not asking lighting designers to just think about lighting, not asking the costume designers to just think about costumes, but to really think creatively in an artistic collective of what the aesthetic could look like?
But I liken it with the presence of this kind of, for a brief digital time, and the puppets, right? All these aesthetics mashing up. And one of them is this idea of seemingly dismissible or seemingly low tech, so to speak, rasquachi in the pure sense, mixed with this really high, tech of video and, editing and graphics and TikTok and, phone and all these things. So, yes, I'm interested in really embracing, as I say, my big joke is, I'm interested in this is something I told the teatro ensemble in the spring, was like, how do we become high-tech Aztecs? How do we embrace these ancient wisdoms, these ancient kind of tactile drawings of the codex, or even the rasquachi aesthetic, how it's morphed into that, to contemporary Chicano culture, with, we know this kind of cosmic world or dimension of the ancients as well, right? We know there's images of Pakal, the famous first, Mayan astronaut that supposedly, shot out to the cosmos. So there's always been this kind of mashup and this kind of relationship of intertwining, another transient kind of connection of transconnection of high and low, and as I said, and also indigenous with Western, and so I call it the high tech Aztec aesthetic.
And then, I put it in this space and chose a red sky and made the terrain and stuff.
You also made it a very specific shade.
Yeah. the box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I mean, part of it was I was looking at pictures of pyramids. And we had talked about there being a flat top to Aztec pyramids, and I wanted it to feel of that nature.
I remember when we spoke to the students, the grad students in our first one of our early sessions, that we were going to do something unconventional, and we kept our promise.
But even we didn't say to the set designers in the class, okay, you're the set designer, you get to decide what this looks like. We had everybody do the same prompt, the same exercise. And it turned out actually that the sound designer came up with a really cool aesthetic for the, one of the pieces. And the lighting designer came up for a really cool aesthetic for a different kind of the piece.
And so Marie and I were really much like, okay, we did some world building, we did some formal investigations, we kind of have a visual aesthetic that we're kind of circling, or we see the potentialities. What is that you want to work on now for this second part? And he really wanted to go back to the story. He wanted to go back to the script and really imbue it with authenticity, with really profound and elements that were really deep and essential to the storytelling for today. And so that's why he wanted to meet with these experts and to have some influence, because for him, he really wanted to consider, okay, what is Tlaxlandia, this kind of Mesoamerican, mythical landscape. And so hence we worked with David Carrasco, the great scholar of Mesoamerica at Harvard Divinity School, who just really blew open so much for Jose and for myself and for Marie and for the play. I can't even imagine the play again without him.
So I was thinking about this because, these nopals, nopal plant, was made, they made so many things out of it, and you also have, the other thing that might be fun is, I know that you have a lot of color in this play. And, one of the things that comes out of the nopal is these insects, that make cochineal. This incredible red color that became so important in Aztec times. It still is. These insects, they get attached to the nopal. And what they found is they then, out of this, they make this incredible red color. It's so important, and it's still if you go into Mexican markets, you'll see things made with cochineal.
Yes, he exploded it for us, but he also confirmed, I have to say, a lot of story elements and a lot of kind of impulses and gut instincts that Jose had put into the play already, just organically, without knowing some of it. Maybe in his DNA, who knows where it was coming from, but some of the elements in the play that were already there, David was able to say like, that's like, the new fire ceremony ritual. That's like this element. That's like that, right? And Jose's like, no, I was just kind of creating this story. And he's like, well, let me talk to you about it. And it was just this confirmation and a kind of deepening and a kind of actually amplifying these incredible moments that were there.
I think our process has been very organic. I think the thing for us and for me was taking a number of the experiences that I've had working in the theater and in new play development and bringing those elements together to explore Pia much more deeply and more collaboratively, not only with Robert and Marie, but also with the future audiences that Pia will reach one day, as well as bringing experts into the process, people in their fields where the story touches on, and to get insights and hopefully tell a deeper story, a more profound story.
Pia's Wondrous Adventures in Tlaxlandia. Chapter 1. The Hummingbird Wizard Seeks a Hero.
Today is Pia's 10th birthday, sad tears in her eyes. Her best friend, Mr. Jesse, lost his fight and died. A sickness spread across the land, no one could understand. Parents, family, and friends, some sadly died in the end.
I miss you, Mr. Jesse, come back to me. I need you, Mr. Jesse, like things used to be.
How do you keep from crying when you feel like dying? Your world shut down, everything upside down.
I miss you, Mr. Jesse. I miss you, Mr. Jesse. I miss you, Mr.
I am the Hummingbird Wizard from the kingdom of Tlaxlandia. I too have lost many friends.
You can speak?
Yes, I speak many languages, Metzgali.
My name is Pia.
In our world, Metzgali means she who seeks truth.
Your world?
We haven't much time. The moons are in alignment. We must go now.
Go where?
To Tlaxlandia. Queen Elvirus, the sorceress of the eastern moons, and Ocelotl, the jaguar lord of the night, have all but finished us. Only you can stop them.
What's happening?
Lord Ocelotl has found me.
Prepare your fate, wizard bird.
He mustn't find you!
Am I dead?
No. You've been sleeping.
Who are you?
I am Nopalitzli, the hummingbird wizard's apprentice, Mitskali. Thank goodness I found you. I've been looking for you for days.
It's Mr. Jesse's taco food truck! Oh no!
The hummingbird wizard saved your life from Lord Ocelot by changing you into your animal spirit.
Change me back!
Only the hummingbird wizard and his wizard excellence can do that. His last message to me from the Book of Instruction was to search for you in the Valley of Sorrows.
Well, where is he?
Imprisoned in La Isla de las Muñecas.
Then that's where I must go.
No, it's impossible and much too dangerous. Queen Elvirus' spies are everywhere. What to do? What to do? Look there.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing, Nopalitzli?
Hiding?
Why?
Because I'm a failure. A good for nothing? I'll never be a Nawali like the great hummingbird wizard.
Never say never! Mr. Jesse always said that if you never try, how will you ever get better?
Is this Mr. Jesse a great Nawali in your world?
No. He was my godfather and my best friend.
How did you do that?
I don't know. Look, Nopalitzli, I need your help to find the hummingbird wizard so he can change me back. If that means going to La Isla de las Muñecas, then that's where we need to go.
We?
Yes. We.
I'm not prepared for this, and I'm not very brave.
That makes two of us. I'm Pia. We're partners now. Slide me some skin. Good enough.
It's too far on foot, and my wings aren't strong enough to carry you, Pia Metzgali. We need something to get us there as fast as possible. The serpent path is long and treacherous.
We got Mr. Jesse's taco food truck.
That thing?
Mr. Jesse's dream to turn an old food truck into an electric lowrider has happened. I'm calling it my Lolo, my ride, my Ramfla. Get in. Vámonos! On the serpentine path is where we go. Together as one, that's how we roll.
Let's not forget the trouble ahead. Facing dangers, we'll lose our heads.
One step at a time, we'll take it slow. Together as one, here we go. Sing it with me, loud and proud. One step at a time, we'll take it slow. Together as one, here we